Hey guys, yours truly, Kevin Grace. I'm reporting to you from Minneapolis, Minnesota. I'm on Chicago and 39th Street, and I'm about to go on 38th Street. If you know by the news, 38th in Chicago is where George Floyd was killed by the police by Derek Chauvin in particular. And of course, yesterday was the verdict, and Chauvin was guilty in all 3 counts. So I'm about to show you the George Floyd Square Memorial and the Cup Foods building as well. So stay tuned. this mural many times of George Floyd, and it says at the bottom, "I can breathe." And actually, after yesterday's verdict, that police officer Derek Chauvin was found guilty on all 3 counts, the world can breathe, because you just never know how these verdicts are going to be and how they turn out, or if they just let them acquit them like other folks that have done things that were not correct and were not punished, but the world got to see what happened. So anyway, I'm here visiting, and of course you can see the Cups food as well. The building where this all happened, and right here on the corner is a memorial right here with flowers and pictures and everything else. But this is of course the building where the whole situation happened, and you can see at the bottom it says, "I can breathe."
من الناحية النظرية هذا الأمر ليس له علاقة مباشرة بقضية جورج فلويد، لكن بالتأكيد عمليا القضية لم تكن لتتحرك لولا ما حدث من احتجاجات عقبت مقتل جورج فلويد. لذلك نتحدث عن ما يبدو أنه مرحلة جديدة في النظر إلى الطريقة التي تتعامل بها الشرطة مع المواطنين الأمريكيين، تحديدا المواطنين الأمريكيين من أصول أفريقية، سواء هنا في مينيابوليس في ولاية مينيسوتا أو في عموم الولايات المتحدة الأمريكية.
Behind me is a very cool picture that they put up of George Floyd outside of this church, and down the block that way on 38th in Chicago is where George Floyd lost his life, right outside the Cup Foods store, and there's a George Floyd Square. The thing that we always dislike is when people want to downplay or throw shade on the character of different people. They want to say, well, that person was insane, and bring up something from the past that has nothing to do with the injustice that happened to him on May the 25th, 2020. They want to say, oh, well, you know, he had his brush with the law and this and the other. But look, in the Bible, Jesus used people that were broken and had different issues, whether it be Mary Magdalene, who was a prostitute, or even Peter, one of his apostles, was a tax collector. He'll use you to get his will done. And in this case, the world got to see police brutality up close. But please stop trying to downplay or throw shade on a person's character, something that has nothing to do with what was done to them. It's always, well, if they complied or if they listened, that wouldn't have happened. George was handcuffed on the ground, and he still had his knee on his neck, and he's pleading, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. Says it several times. And Derek Chauvin, blank look on his face, doesn't care. Dehumanized them. Just like a lot of you try to do of, you know, throwing shade on whatever his character was, or his missteps or miscomings or whatever. Don't do it. That's enough. You're just as bad as those people that are doing injustice as well. Do we always judge everything that you do or say every time something happens? Then don't do it in this case. Wrong is wrong. Don't try to bring up something from the past. And you should know better. Be better.
To get him into a squad car, Floyd says he's claustrophobic. Once he's restrained, Floyd tells officers he can't breathe, adding, "You're going to kill me." Former officer Derek Chauvin, who pressed his knee on Floyd's neck, says, "Then stop talking. Takes a heck of a lot of oxygen to talk." Chauvin is now charged with second-degree murder and manslaughter. While he's not commented publicly, in a court filing this week, his attorney objected to a gag order a judge recently imposed and suggested that his client's alleged actions were justifiable.
10 months after this incident, after they lost their loved one, the man accused of killing him is finally going to face a jury.
Whether or not you think Officer Derek Chauvin is innocent or guilty, this trial is monumental. It is the trial of the century.
Thank you for taking time to look at my tour of George Floyd Square and reliving some of those memories that happened on May the 25th, 2020. So as you can see, the memorial has grown, and I didn't want to do too much of commentating back there so people could take in what they were seeing. But you know, it's very sad, and it's hard to believe that something like that happened. But yesterday, partial justice was served. There's more work to be done, and today is actually the anniversary of Prince's death 5 years ago. So it will be interesting to hear his new album that'll be coming out on July 30th called Welcome to America. It's about racial injustice and racism. So always his material is right on time and very timely. So it's just hard to believe that here in Minneapolis there have been so many different situations, whether it be Philando Castile that happened in St. Paul, and of course what happened to George, and then 2 weeks ago what happened to the kid Dante Wright, where the officer thought she was pulling out her taser and happened to be her gun and discharged on him. But something has to be done, and it's sad. So the world is seeing it, and now they're listening. That's the thing. We've been saying it for years and no one believed it, and it was always, well, if they obeyed orders or did what they were told, this wouldn't have happened. But you know, we show you and tell you, so now you're finally believing. If you like this video, please subscribe down below and click that red button, and feel free to leave any comments.